Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to the weekly review special for week 25 of the Gaming Decathlon competition. This week I brought in 2,834 points, bit of a rise from last week, a little over 100 points higher, but still almost 2,000 points shy of our best round score, 17 weeks ago now, so 4 months ago. Current virtual best, slight increase, or steady increase anyway, 3,183, going back in the right direction. No new games this week, so that's the reason for that. But the all-time virtual best is not only unchanged, but we officially have no current games in the top 10. So weird that has happened. So we'll look at that side first. So the all-time virtual best are the top 10 game scores that I've had. I'm going to go in a little more detail as to what things are on this for those that are new to the channel. I've had a lot of new subscribers in the last couple of months. I went from 800 to 1230 in about a two and a half month stretch. So that's a big jump. I mean, that's an almost 50% increase from what I had just about 3 months ago. So some of you might be seeing this for the first time and going, what is all this? Well, anyway, each score that I play, I keep a scoring system similar to how the decathlon is scored, that major Olympic event, the decathlon, 10 events. I do 10 games. Now, I used to, when I first started the channel, actively keep 10 games all the time, and slowly, if I replaced one, it was replaced immediately. I don't do that now. I just maintain a record of the 10 most recent and or active games. So on that all-time virtual best side, this is my 10 best scores in any of the games I've had on the channel. I've always had an active game on that list until last week through retirements. My active ones that were at the top, PCM 19 namely, retired with the release of PCM 20, and here I am way down on scores. So my highest current score is Founder's Fortune, which is actually in its second season, and I've already outscored the first season's total, which was 305, if I remember correctly. So I've scored 360 points there out of 1,000. Yes, you can go over 1,000, and you can in real life too in the decathlon. A lot of the games can't, but some of the games, depending on how the scoring system works, can exceed 1,000. Out of the park, same spot that it was in. Founder's Fortune, by the way, moved up 7 spots. It was 29th on my list. And the one now moving on to that list, as we had another retirement from there, Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball, is FS19 with a little under 100 points right now, and all the way down at the 46th highest score I've ever had on a game. Yeah, not good in terms of current scores. We've taken that real step backwards in that, and most of my current games, my active games, are quite low in score. 5 of 6 are under 100 currently, though I think Out of the Park Baseball will definitely be over 100 after next week as we progress through the season. It should be approaching 140, 150 or something like that. A lot of our score currently is coming from recent retired games. Those will roll off the list as new entries make their way onto the list. So Pro Basketball is the one that's been retired the longest of those. Is the next one that'll slide off that list when something new starts, which I'm not sure what exactly will be next, though I do know that we're only about 3 weeks away from the release of F1, so that could be the next one, but there might be something between now and then. I've got a lot of coming soon titles, and so much is up in the air in the world of gaming right now with the shutdowns, which most quarantines are coming to an end. The U.S., though, much too soon. We could find ourselves back in quarantine any day as cases are skyrocketing right now. But anyway, back to this. So each game has its individual score based out of 1,000. It's all added together. So the overall score is those 10 current scores added into one total. The best round is the best single week score that I've had. That was year 3, week 8, 17 weeks ago, where I had 4,600 points. The current virtual best is that other side, the record. So add the 10 records together, and that's the current virtual best. The all-time virtual best is whatever the record score was, the highest record of each individual game, but it's taking just the 10 best games all time, which is what the 1 through 10 is there in the dark blue. That's the basis for the scores. Now looking at the games individually, the 6 active ones, I've got PCM 20 now, career mode, doing really well, all things considered. I went for that crazy hard start. We've got 38 points. Now, that score is derived from the Super Prestige category, which combines Continental, Continental Pro, and World Tour into one big scoring category based on the level of the race and how you perform in the races. I divide the team score by 10. So we have 380 to 389 points, somewhere in that range right now. And so that's 38. The all-rounder, the Pro Cyclist mode, that's your individual Super Prestige score. So the same basis, but because it's an individual score versus the entire team, instead of dividing by 10, I divide by 5. Realistically, your best rider on a team can account for roughly 50% of your points. So it makes sense to divide by 5, which means on that one, we are somewhere between 70, oh gosh, what is it? 150 would be 75. So somewhere between 75 and 80 points on that one. FS19, Valley Old Farm. This one has its own scoring system because it's a challenge series where we're trying to pay off a $3 million debt. I've made 2 payments, $5,000 each, $10,000 total. That's the 2 points. So each $5,000 payment will equal 1. That accounts for 600 points. The other 400 is bonus, but that only is applied at the end of the series, meaning as soon as the debt is 100% paid off. However early we are from the end of the year, which is the deadline, we get bonus points for that. Little Norton, that one more of a standard series. That's points based on land we own, based on farm buildings, placeable buildings that we put down, and our finances. The 90 points that we have are the farm, and then the 4 pieces of land, and do I have any buildings credited right now? I don't think so. But that's where our money is, or our points are in that one, and that's the standard for FS19 that I create these scores myself. Just go in and do a logical thing that's easy to measure. It's possible to, accumulate points on. And for the most part, it's not just you're at 0 and then you do it and you're at 1,000. It's something that can be incremental so you can check progress. Out of the Park 21, our points right now entirely based on wins. There are bonuses for playoffs and how deep you get in the playoffs and ultimately winning the World Series. That's what we go for. The minor league system doesn't account for anything. It's entirely up to the senior ball club. You get 3 points for each win during the season. So divide that out, and we have 27 wins right now. We have not gotten anywhere near making the playoffs yet, so we haven't gotten into that stretch of things, and that's why our highest total is 201, which was actually scored in our first season. Our second season was a couple wins lower, so we were, I think, at like 195, maybe 192. Founder's Fortune, that one, off the top of my head, is a little more complex, but it's number of colonists, number of seasons, and number of research components that are complete. We have 360 points there. I think those 50 points from last week to this week has come in like 3 more seasons and 2 more research components done, or maybe 1 more colonist. And that's where we're at on those scores. So if you're curious about that, do ask in the comments below. I'll be happy to break down what those scores are and kind of how I came to them in additional detail, the exact on all of that. But that is going to do it for this review special. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I know F1 is coming in a few weeks. I don't know if I'm going to have anything else. There's one obscure niche game that just came out a few days ago. At least it's time that I'm recording this, and I've been crazy busy. I bought a car this week and had a bit of a hassle, especially trying to use the at-home buying option. My wife and I own a daycare. I do not want to expose our kids or their families to what's out there, and so we've tried really hard to keep that virus away. So we are super cautious. Mask up, glove up every time we go anywhere, and when we don't have to go somewhere, we don't. So I used the at-home option, and it led to them really not taking us seriously, and made what should have been a simple slam dunk. It was a no haggle place, so you can't even negotiate price. It was just buy the car, deliver the thing to me, and it took almost the whole week and a lot of time. I got really behind on my recording schedule and dealt with a lot of headaches. But we got it. I still don't have my paperwork for it, but we got the car. But anyway, it's a Crosstrek, by the way. 2017. That does it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and especially if you are new to the channel, thanks for checking this out. I do these weekly review specials every Sunday. And have since the very first week that I started the channel, and even though I don't get very many views or comments regarding them, it's part of my routine. So I keep doing it. It's as much for me as it is for you. But I'll see you next time. Have a good one, and bye for now.